Hi there, everyone. Welcome to another one-on-one here in Pulso Sports, the house of the exclusive. And today, as always, we have a fantastic guest, but it is someone who we know of, someone who we saw grow, start in his MLS career when he was signed as a homegrown player with the Sounders. And of course, that is Henry Wingo. Henry, how are you? How are you doing? How is life treating you these days?
Yeah, everything's good. Thanks for having me, first of all. But yeah, all is well. Just enjoying football, enjoying life, and yeah, working hard, staying focused. Things are good. Things are good.
Excellent. Where you are right now, by the way, because you just had a Euro Cup game. So where are you?
Yeah,
What part of the
yeah.
world?
I'm in Molde, Norway, so my new hometown. Was just in London yesterday, but flew back after the game. And yeah, so it's been a lot of travel and a lot of back and forth, especially playing these European competitions and then trying to squeeze all the regular season games in. It's just a lot of travel, but it's good. No, I'm just chilling at home now, but probably pretty soon I'll be back on the road again. So yeah.
The life of the European soccer player. Wonderful. And let's just start there. I mean, just a couple of days ago, I'm sitting on my couch seeing Henry Wingo go at it against Arsenal. Obviously, a difficult matchup. But just tell me your emotions as you walk into the field, as you are getting ready to face a team like Arsenal.
Yeah, it was really incredible. It's like growing up as a kid, you dream of playing in those stadiums and playing in games like that, and for it to be in a also a competitive fixture in a Europa League match, that's a big stage, and so that was really really special for me, not to just be there, but to be able to play there and be able to play in a game that was meant a lot to both sides. It was not a must win, but very important for both of us in terms of getting out of the group. So it was a special experience and a lot of fun, and I enjoyed it despite the result. It was fun to be out there.
In terms of the game, how did you feel like that went, in terms of how you guys strategized the game to how it developed?
Yeah, I think we started the game as good as we could have hoped for. Going up 1-0 halfway through the first half about, and I think we going into the game, I think we were well prepared, and we knew that maybe we're not going to dominate possession in a game like this, so we tried to be a little bit more defensive, and I think we had great control throughout the whole first half, but just a little bit of lapse and concentration at the end of the first half, and conceding that goal, with a minute left in the first half, I think hurt us a little bit. So all in all, though, I think the first half was great. Second half, I think we slowed down a little bit, and we could have done some things better. And after the second and third goal, it was tough for us to find our way back into the game. But for a lot of us, that was the toughest competition we faced, and the biggest game a lot of us have played. So it was a good learning experience, and I think we, despite not getting 3 points, we walked away with some good lessons, and we'll be better prepared to face them in the second leg at home.
How do you feel about, the rest of the teams that you'll be facing in that competition and what's coming up next for Mold?
Yeah, I think we got two good results before this game in group. We won 2-1 away in Ireland, and then we won 1-0 away at home against a good Austrian side. So aside from the game against Arsenal, I think we've done really well, and we're confident going into these last three matches. And I think hopefully if we can just grab a few more points, we should be able to get out of the group and move on to the next round. So I think we're confident, and we just got to stay focused and keep working.
I believe it was 3 years ago when I was talking to you about your transition from the collegiate level to the MLS. I remember even talking to you for the first time when you played against Chivas and how that felt different. How has the transition been into the Norwegian league and the style of play, and how does that compare to what you've lived in the past as your career has progressed?
Yeah. I mean, I think at least in the Norwegian league, it's a little bit different from the MLS in that I think a lot of teams try to play a much safer game, and there's a lot of emphasis on the tactical approach. So we face a lot of really, really good defensive teams. Not that there aren't those in MLS, but I think most games, we're going to come up against a side that is determined to, defend for 90 minutes and make it really, really hard for us to score goals. So just learning how to break teams down, consistently has been something that I've, developed in my game. And then, now before when I was in Seattle, it was, play right winger, sometimes right back, sometimes, this or that. But now it's like I only play right back. So, I've grown a lot as a professional in that position, and I feel comfortable there. And it's, my primary choice when it comes to playing football. Like that's what I am. That's what I want to be. And so I've grown a lot, as a defensive player and reading the game from that standpoint as well. And so when you play teams, like Arsenal or like some of the other teams we've faced in qualifying for this competition, especially when you're in that position, you have to read the game differently. You have to be aware of your spacing and your surroundings, and it's different in terms of when you're defending higher up the field, or you're defending as a midfielder. So I learned a lot in that regard as well. So there's been a lot of growing that's happened since I've made this move, but all good things.
And I definitely see it, and it's not a easy transition, for a player that, back when I used to watch you initially, it was just kind of, man, this guy just can do it, from the final third up, and, he's about offense. And now I see you with the defensive awareness and everything. So it's honestly, it's great to see. But when back in the day when I used to cover you often and, I had to do things in Spanish, I would call you Quick Feet Wingo. And you looked even faster now. Like, is that something you're working on constantly? Or maybe I haven't seen you play in so long, but man, you just look quick.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's hard to say if I've gotten quicker. I couldn't really tell you, but I feel good and I feel healthy. So it's just part of my game. I do a lot of running. I don't know if it's faster now than it used to be, but I'm still out there, just trying to do my best.
Of course. And how has that other part, the new country, new language, how's that going for you?
Yeah, it was tough at the start for sure, because I'm someone who's lived in the same place my whole life prior to moving here. Like, Seattle was my home, and obviously I traveled a lot for soccer and things like that, but it's totally different when you make a new place your home, and not just somewhere in the country that you're from, but in a totally different place, foreign country, foreign language. A lot of that took some getting used to, and just being out here on your own. It's not like my family can, come and see me, every weekend or things like that. So it was tough at first, but, now it's like I'm really close with my teammates. The people at the club are so good to me, and whenever I need anything, they're there to help me. So I got a lot of great support around me, and now I feel totally comfortable here.
Absolutely. And knowing how difficult that is and how you're grinding every day to continue to grow as a soccer player, take me back to your first goal, obviously with Molde, and what went through your mind, obviously mid-range shot and just everything. Tell me about it.
Yeah, we were playing a game at home, and to start the season, we were in such great form. I think we went like 8 or 9 games unbeaten, and that was one of those games. So we were really in a good rhythm at that point, and I think that was my second start of the season, and I really wanted to go out there and put on a good performance, and I think I played fantastic in that game, and it was, midway through the second half, I think we were already up 4-0, and we just had them pinned back under tons of pressure, and we had talked about something we had talked about because of the way we play. We attack so heavily through the outside backs, but we always talk about, when one outside back is high, you need to keep the balance and make sure the other one is tucked in the midfield. So there's no counterattacks and things like that. So I had that in mind, when we were in possession during that play. And I think the ball actually that came to me was from our left back. I had tucked towards the top of the box, and our left back had squared the ball across, and it came to me, and I saw I had a run going on. Our winger was going outside of me, so their left back, felt like he had to follow him. So he took a few steps to his left. And when he did that, I saw the space open up for me to shoot. So I just took a touch out of my feet and had a go and ended up in the back of the net. So it was good to score that goal and, sort of get off the mark for the season. So that felt good.
Look at that breakdown. Brian Spencer would be proud.
Yeah.
Breaking that play like that. Very nice.
Yeah.
Excellent. No, I love it. And feeling wise, I mean, that must have been huge for you,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does a lot for your confidence. For any player, it doesn't matter where you're playing on a pitch. If you're a winger, striker, defender, to get a goal or something like that, and really help the team win and in such a big victory like that, it felt good. And to have it come at the beginning of the season, you don't want to be waiting for something like that or feel like, man, when is it going to come? When is it going to come? Just to get on the score sheet early it makes you feel a lot more comfortable, I think.
Now, going back to your, start with Seattle, how much of, what you learned here, that base of you as a player, has that helped you today?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think I was fortunate to be able to play at Seattle and play around guys who were so good every day. I mean, it's a team that, has such a high standard, such a great record of winning. And, some of that comes from the coaching, obviously, but a lot of that comes from just the quality of players they have. So to be able to play alongside those guys every day, I think, I learned a lot just from watching them and, realizing, okay, what you have to do to affect the game and to make a difference in how to manage different situations that you come across. You learn, obviously, a lot of that you learn in games, but so much of that you also learn in training and competing at a high level every single day. And, I was able to do that with, so many of the good quality players that Seattle has had over the years. So I think just that environment helps me, be ready to play at a higher level. And so bringing that with me over here, I think, has helped a lot.
Now, I felt like your departure was very quick. I honestly didn't quite see it coming right away. How was that, leaving the team that you've played with for so long, teammates and coaching staff? How was that? How did that go about?
Yeah, I mean, it did happen quick, for sure. I mean, I think the idea of it had kind of floated around, but never obviously left the team. But then once, it actually started to gain some traction, it felt like it happened in like a week or so. Like it was really, really quick. Yeah, so to just pick up and move like that so quick was a little tough. And then obviously leaving my hometown and my hometown club was a little bit difficult, but, I wanted to try something new and, just see what a new environment would feel like. And if this, could help me take, further steps in my career. And so far, I think I've been able to do that. So, all in all, I think it was a good decision for me in terms of my development. And then just a good decision in terms of life experience. You learn a lot when you're living on your own and living in a different country and things like that. So, I don't regret any thing about making the move. I think it's been great for me. So, um, yeah, all in all, I think it's been good.
Any specific message or conversation, tip from a coaching staff member here from Seattle or a teammate that maybe you remember that really stands out before you left?
Yeah, I mean, everybody on the staff, I'm really grateful for them because they were so supportive. They really truly and sincerely, wished me all the best and were happy that I had this opportunity. So I'm thankful for that. And then, yeah, I mean, I think that was just a general mood around the club in terms of staff and players. Just a lot of well wishes, a lot of support. All I could really ask for. So I can't think of one conversation in particular, but I just remember everybody being super supportive and wishing me the best, and that felt good.
Who's someone you still talk to from the team constantly that you still probably have a pretty good relationship?
Yeah, I mean, I think I chat with most of the guys, here and there, especially through social media, like Instagram and things like that. We're always exchanging little messages here and there, and that's something that I like is, the locker room back in Seattle. It was such a good atmosphere to be a part of, and so many good guys there. So it's been nice just to hear from people every now and then. It feels really good just to see how well everybody's doing and have them, still checking in on you and things like that. It really feels like a family. So I'm grateful for that as well.
Have you been able to, I mean, I know the time zone it doesn't help you, but have you been able to watch any Sounder games? I mean, they're getting ready to
I was
enter the
actually watching.
playoffs.
Yeah, I was watching them when they were in the bubble down in Orlando because the kickoffs were at such bizarre times that it actually lined up with like my time zone. So I could watch those games live, which was nice. Obviously that was early and like people were still getting settled, still getting into a rhythm. But no, I haven't really been able to watch any regular season games, unfortunately. But I still follow them and I follow, the results in the league, and it's good to see them doing so well. I think this year could be another big year for them going into the playoffs. So I'm looking forward to following them through that. But yeah, unfortunately, don't catch too much live action.
That's all right. Well, a lot of the guys are part of this Pulso Sports family. If you could tell them something coming up to the playoff game, what would that message from Henry Wingo be as they get ready to enter the playoffs?
I would just say do it again. I mean, they know they've been to 3 MLS Cups in 4 years. I mean, I don't know that there's that much I can tell them that they don't already know. So I would just say, continue to make the city proud, because that's what they're doing. And it's really special to watch them achieve such big things.
That's great. And you're making the city proud. You're definitely playing in Europe and making your career and your dreams come true. What's next? What do you feel like your objectives are, in the future for you?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to look that far ahead sometimes when, you've got these big games that you more or less have been waiting your whole career for, to play in Europa League and European competition and things like that. It's like, that's really all I can focus on right now, and just getting to the next stage of that competition. Those are my short-term goals. As far as long-term goals, it's hard to say. I just want to continue to play the best football I can play and play at the highest level I can play at. And, I think if I do that, good things will come my way. So, or continue to come my way. So that's That's all I can really say.
No, absolutely. And how difficult has it been to, continue to grow and everything throughout this whole pandemic? I mean, I'm sure it was difficult, and maybe even hindered to a certain point, not being able to maybe
Yeah,
practice or play.
yeah. I mean, I think it was obviously a big shock to everybody, and everybody, dealt with it differently. Some people, I think it was easier for than others. As for me, um, in life here in Norway, like the country here has handled the pandemic really well. I think I've been blessed in that regard to not have to worry about it as much as a lot of people back home, and even in Seattle and things like that. The infection rates here are a lot lower, and especially in the region of the country where I live. So, like, obviously the season was delayed a few months here, but we could still train for the most part. We could still go to the store without too many worries and things like that. So it hasn't been as tough for me as I think it has been for a lot of other people. And playing soccer, it's they can't keep us out of the office really. Like we still get to go to the pitch every day, and that's been nice. I think for a lot of people, like having to work from home is really tough, and I understand that. Like if I'm stuck in my apartment for too long, I get cabin fever. So yeah, all in all, it's been not so bad here, but uh, I just feel for the people who back home or in countries where it's been really bad. I feel for them because that's a lot of stress that this has been causing on people in so many different ways.
Absolutely. And speaking of that, what's probably the biggest thing that you missed about the Pacific Northwest or about Seattle? What's something that you're always like, oh man, I really missed that?
Well, first and foremost, I miss friends and family. That's the biggest thing.
Right.
But then the next biggest thing is the food for sure. And like my favorite kind of food is like Latin American food, like tacos and burritos and things like that.
Yeah.
So, and you can't really get that over here. So I miss that a lot, and that'll definitely be my first stop when I'm home in December to get some food that I miss.
Absolutely. When you're obviously in touch with the community, obviously in touch with the country, I want to know, being in Norway, but obviously being an American, were you able to vote in these elections? Were you able to, exercise your right?
Yeah, no, that was huge for me, and to be able to vote obviously is hugely important whenever election season comes around. But this one especially, I think, as we saw in terms of voter turnout, how much this mattered to this country and to our people. And so, yeah, my mom, she was able to, as soon as she got the ballot in the mail, she sent it express mail all the way to Norway, opened it up, filled it out, took it back to the post office, sent it back the next day. So, and then she got it and put it in the ballot box for me. So that was huge, and that felt good. To be able to do that and see our democracy at work.
All right, Mom, that's awesome. And
Yeah.
what was it so important for you to vote specifically? You emphasize the fact that how important it was this time around. Why is that for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think the president we have had the last 4 years it doesn't reflect my values at all in any sense, and the values I hope of the majority of the country. Obviously racism there's no place for that anywhere in the world in any facet. Sexism, discrimination against religions, anything, discriminatory behavior of any kind, towards any group, I cannot stand for. And to make sure that that is not what our country stands for, and the reputation our country has globally. Also, not to mention the environment. Forgot to throw that one in there. All those things I think we needed to address and address properly. And to do that, we needed to get the sitting president out of office. So, obviously a few hours ago, we got some great news that we'll have a new president. So I'm thrilled about that. And yeah, for those reasons, that's why it was so important for me to vote, and obviously for so many others in our country to vote.
Absolutely. I was extremely proud of the efforts that were put on by absolutely everybody to promote this, from an athletic level and, in the communities. I mean, it was fantastic. I am extremely proud that we all came together as Americans, and I hope we continue to do that, working together, uniting, reuniting, bringing each other closer. Well, I can't think of a better way to finish this off other than, of course, give you a quick couple of minutes just to give the fans a message, a hello, because so many of them still talk about you, and you're still a fan favorite. They all, posted when they saw you playing your league, and they follow you at Molde. I just kind of want to give you your time to go ahead and just talk to the fans if you want to give them a quick message.
Yeah, sure. Hello, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. This is Henry, by the way, in case you weren't aware. But, I just want to say I miss all you guys. I miss Seattle, and I'm still watching and rooting for the Sounders the same as you guys are. So I think as the boys head into the playoffs, just continue to have their back as they always do. And I know that they're going to make another great run this year. But, just miss you guys. Hope everybody's well back in Seattle, back in Washington, back on the West Coast, wherever you are, wherever you're supporting from. So, just wishing you guys all the best.
Wonderful. And that's it for us here in Pulso Sports in this exclusive interview with Henry Wingo, straight from Norway to here in Seattle. It's been a pleasure, Henry. Hope this is not the last time we do this. This is your house, your home with your family. Hopefully we'll do this again sometime.